just say I'm not the baddest bitch alive. It ain't my fault that I'm not here.
All right, our YouTube viewers get that first extra sneak peek before the show. What's up?
It ain't my fault that I'm not here making news. I'm the put it in the proof. Gotta blame it on my juice. Blame it on my juice.
I got you, girl.
Blame it on my juice.
Hey, y'all need to catch up. Get your own little moves going.
She said, "Get your own moves." Don't dare try to cop a feel.
It's fun.
Yeah. She's like, let's do this again next week.
Nigga, please don't make me have to take your bitch.
This is such a cool studio.
It is.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where's the applause?
I'll let this rock a little bit. To everyone listening through the Good News Radio app, check us out in the chat line. We'd love to see you guys there. For our viewers on YouTube,
Welcome everyone.
how you guys doing?
What up, everybody?
We got a new look on YouTube. If you guys are viewing on YouTube, we got a new look. Let us know what you guys think.
Cut our hair. Got the bangs.
Did it.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Said Connects live from the TJ and Latinx station. We are Said Connects, and this is your host, Danny. I'm here with B. B is back. What up, B?
What up?
How are you?
I'm good, man.
How was
excited.
your week off?
It was good. It was. I got to, breathe some fresh air.
Breathe some fresh air. Where'd you go?
Lake Tahoe.
Oh, shit. Was it
Yeah.
cold?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. At least somewhere it was cold in California, because out here in SoCal, it was freaking hot.
I know.
But we are Said Connects, cannabis entrepreneurial dialogues. We're here to create spaces for brands and people of color to elevate their stories and educate and empower our communities. We have a great episode coming up with us today. We have Julia that's back for another week. What's up, Julia? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm back.
I can see. Thank you.
Me pegué.
Yeah. And we got a special guest. We have Chelly from Xicali Products in the house.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Chelly.
Hey, Chelly.
What's up? We're going to learn a lot more about Chelly and all the products that she has. Before we do that, let's go through some of our sponsors. B, what's up? Show us out with the sponsor.
Yeah, Adore Lay. Adore Lay is a queer POC marginalized community. We gather. It's a faith-based community, and as you know, every week we definitely show love, and they show us a lot of love. It's something that actually Danny and Julia are a part of, and so much love to you guys and for sponsoring us.
Thank you, Adore, for
Yeah, thank
always
you.
believing,
Yeah.
always pushing us to be better.
Thank you. And our next sponsor, we actually have a new sponsor this month, and that sponsor is Can. So they've blessed us with some drinks to have for a few episodes here. So each one of us has a drink here. And today we actually have the lemon lavender. They're nice, and for those that are listening, it's a cannabis infused social tonic drink. It's a very small drink. It's an 8-ounce can. Looks like those mini Coke cans.
Yeah.
I love the packaging around it, and what's really dope about this product is that they're low dosage. So this drink here in particular has 2 milligrams of THC with 4 milligrams of CBD. So it's definitely evens it out for folks that are interested in wanting to try this. And what I really liked about this brand is one that they really love taking chances on smaller brands and really being able to provide an opportunity for smaller folks to try this. But they're really trying to change the game with their drinks by making it socially acceptable by creating these low dosages. So thank you guys
Yep.
for sponsoring us, for taking the chance with us, and for everyone listening, make sure to check them out at Instagram at Drink Can. That's Drink Can double N at the end, and we'll I'll definitely have more about it. But have you guys tried the drink?
Yeah, I tried it. It's so bomb. I feel so chill. I feel so chill. It's tasty, it's citrusy, and you could taste the lavender. It's really calming.
Yeah,
I like that it's non-GMO, no stevia, no artificial flavors, no gluten, and 30 calories, y'all. Keep it light, keep it right.
Yeah, I'm the low dosage type of person, so this is right up my alley.
Microdosing is your
Mhm. That's
lane.
that's my lane.
all
Okay.
right.
Well, let's have fun.
Yeah, so let's reintroduce our guest, Chelly. First Latina from East LA with a compliant CBD brand, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
I
me.
love it. I love it. So how are you? How are you today? How was your
I'm-
day?
Okay, my day. My day was good. I ate frijoles.
Yes.
Okay.
Black
Hot spot.
pintos. Where you at with
Pintos.
this? Okay.
Pintos, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so my day's good. So I'm Chelly. I'm the Bruja y Jefa of Xicali Products. So I'm from East LA, born and raised, super Chicana.
love
And
it.
we actually outgrew my mom's kitchen. And we now have a studio in downtown LA in the fashion district.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Congratulations.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like wow, and for that to happen in the middle of a pandemic or the beginning of a pandemic, so it's pretty mind blowing. Like sometimes I just like look and I'm like, damn, I can't believe I did this.
Yeah. It's only gonna get better.
You're
yeah,
doing
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
congrats.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were just in the fashion district not too long ago, no?
Yep. In the callejones.
Okay.
Yep. Getting ready for a party. That's where you go.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Yeah, I have like a beautiful view of the callejones. I'm like right in front of the Santee alleys. Yeah,
Oh, that's dope.
yeah.
Nice.
I'm literally on Maple and 12th.
Oh, all
right,
right.
all
Cool.
right.
Cool. Now, talk to us about your upbringing. Talk to us about like what was your upbringing with cannabis? What was that relationship like? Was it always accessible to you growing up?
I'm from East LA, so yes,
Right,
it was
right, right,
always
right. I figured, I
accessible
figured.
growing up. Yeah, I took my first hit on my what is it, July 25th, 2003. Yeah, it was my friend's birthday. That's why I remember.
Oh,
I was like, I don't
damn.
even. That sounds like the day I graduated high school.
July 25th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
2003. Yeah, it was my friend's birthday party, and I was like, all right. And we like smoked out of a can.
Yes.
Like this one from Green Canna, similar to this. And it was awesome. I mean, I didn't feel anything. It took me like 10 tries to get high. So 10 different events. So that was my first time really smoking weed. And I tried smoking weed, but I never bought my own weed in high school. I was always like that friend
Yeah.
who would just buy the munchies or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
was like, okay, but I didn't really start smoking chronically until I was about 19 or 20. Yeah,
Alright.
and ever since then, I would smoke here and there. Like I was a broke college student, so I didn't have that much money for weed, and
But when financial aid came through,
I always had a
Paid for our
little.
books.
I always had some money for that. But
Yeah.
somehow that I didn't have money for the bus, but I had money
the
for
Lord
that.
provides. The Lord provides.
So yeah, in my like late teens, early 20s, I started smoking a lot, and then I would say once I got like my first like steady job, that's when I started smoking every day. And I've been smoking every day since I want to say like I was 22, 23, something like that.
Okay. All right. All right. And and so what led you to get into the cannabis to the CBD business? Like
Yeah.
how'd that happen?
Oh my God. My background is not in entrepreneurship or remedies or cannabis or anything like that. My background is in community organizing.
Oh,
Oh.
all right.
So I actually started as a community organizer when I was 14, going to my first protest around student rights. So I had a very different background. So for most of my life, I spent my life as an organizer. I majored in Chicana studies. And for a long time I wanted to be a professor or a researcher.
You're speaking dirty to Julia right now.
I'm a Central American Studies major, girl. Yes, you are. I'm over here like,
Julia's over there getting
Yeah, I
comfortable.
started getting closer and closer. I was like, something's happening. There's a connection there.
Cosmic.
yes.
And so for a long time that was my goals, and everything revolved around that. So I was always a community organizer, but being that working for a nonprofit, I always had to work retail. So Monday through Friday, I worked nonprofit anywhere between 60 to 80 hours.
Mhm.
And then on Saturday, I would work retail. I worked at Lush for 5 years.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
my spot.
So I work 7 days a week, and I never once thought I would be an entrepreneur. And I, not quickly, over, I don't know, I want to say like 8 years, I realized, I'm never gonna move up in this nonprofit. Like, I'm a college dropout. Like, I'm just not. They don't want me for any kind of management position. Like, they want me at this entry level job where I'm doing management work, where I'm only hired to work 20 hours a week and work a 12-hour day or something.
Right.
So it's ridiculous. So
At unsustainable wages.
you're right.
Yeah.
So that was my background, and then I just started. I didn't know what to do with my life anymore. I didn't know what to do, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a retail job and have a job where I just clock in and clock out, and I'm not expected to give so much of my soul like you do in a nonprofit. And I did that, and I was like, oh my God, like, I have no money. Like, I remember like getting my paycheck and looking at it, and it was like $300 or like 230, something really
You
low.
get paid weekly?
It was every 2 weeks.
Oh shit!
It was every 2 weeks, coming from Woodland Hills, coming from East LA to Woodland Hills. I was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, what am I gonna do? And I had just like quit another job. I used to deliver weed for this other company.
All right.
So I was like, man, I just didn't know what to do with my life. And I'm like, I'm getting paid these crappy wages. And then I went back to the nonprofit life, and it was just as bad as I remembered it. And then I really didn't know what to do. I was like, all right, going back to retail. And I remember I was leaving work. My coworker had quit, so I was covering all her shifts. And I was home like 3 hours later than I was supposed to be. So I get home, and it's already midnight, and my mom's like, doors open. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And I'm like, that's weird. She should be asleep.
Right.
And she's like in her 70s. So I'm like, what's going on? And I ask her questions. I'm like, hey, mom, ¿cómo te fue hoy? ¿Cómo estás? And she's not making any sense. She's just like mumbling gibberish words. And I'm like, what? And I'm like asking her a simple question like, oh, ¿qué tienes ahí en la mano? And she couldn't tell me anything. And then eventually realized that her blood sugar was so low. It was at a 38. And at a 30, you got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I just gave her a bunch of orange juice, and I monitored her for an hour, and she bounced back. But I remember thinking, like, that's it. I quit. Like, I can't be working here, because my dad died when I was at a work retreat for a nonprofit. So I was like, I can't lose my mom to work again, like how I lost my dad.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's it. Like, I'm done. So I remember I was gonna call my boss, and I was like, oh, it's like 2 a.m. Like, I can't call her right now.
Right.
Like, I was in crisis mode. And then I was like, I'm gonna finish what I'm scheduled for, but after that, like, I'm done. And that was a decision I had made.
Sorry.
Like, I have to quit. And in that, I figured out how to make remedies for my mom, because my mom was actually going through diabetic nerve damage. So that's how I started my business, because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I reached the
That's where the idea came, or at least not even the idea, right? It was just more of a need for your mom.
It was like, I can't work for anyone else because no
Yeah.
one else values me. And that's when I realized, like, I have to just gamble on myself.
Yeah.
Because
That's
what I
dope.
had was Arcana Canela CBD rub.
Okay.
So I had made our CBD rub for my mom because she was experiencing diabetic nerve damage. And it took about a month to get her diagnosed. We went to different ERs all over LA. And, the first thing they said was like, oh, she just wants attention. It's in her head. Your dad just died, so she's just probably
Wow.
lonely.
That's the worst.
Yeah. And I'm just like, damn, like this is literally how they treat immigrant women.
Yeah.
This is literally it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to be there advocating for her.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know how to do that. No one taught me how to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just kind of, the anxiety is just kind of like, well, hopefully the doctors know what they're talking about, but they never do. That's been my experience. And it was a month-long process before she got diagnosed. So it was literally like her not being able to walk or eat because the pain was so bad. She wasn't sleeping. Like she was taking like small little 20-minute naps. So she was really bad. And I was like, oh my God, my mom's dying. Nobody knows what's wrong with her. And I was just crying. I was like, oh my God, this is so intense. And then they were giving her morphine and codeine. They're like, well, we don't know what's causing the pain, but that'll help her out. And I was like,
Wow.
what the hell? Like, these are some heavy narcotics. And I asked my mom, and she's like, la morfina no me ayudó, lo sentí peor. She's like, la codeína me dio una alergia. And I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to do,
Which can prevent. I mean, which could have an effect that makes you go to the hospital again.
Exactly. Like, I was like, what do we do? What do I do? Like, how am I responsible for you? Like, I don't know anything,
Yeah.
And in this crisis, a month-long crisis, after losing my dad, it was like a year after losing my dad, and now I have like this other crisis going on, and I'm just like, oh my God, what do I do? And then eventually the doctor was like, oh, it's diabetic nerve damage. He was like, I can't believe it took them a month for them to diagnose your mom. Like, it's clear to me. Like, we're going to give her this pills. And if it helps her out, that's probably it. They're like, she's been diabetic for 30 years. I don't know how they didn't come to that conclusion.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just kind of like a no-brainer. And I was like, man, my mom's been suffering for a whole month.
For nothing.
Exactly.
Even longer than that. Because
Yeah.
you were on this like journey with her for a
Mhm.
month, but before that,
Exactly.
she was already
She
going
could have been
through it.
not talking about her
Yeah.
pain.
What I'm
as
hearing
moms
from
do.
you too is like you're doing all this like advocacy and you're doing all this work for the community, right?
Mhm.
Like community building. But all of that, you reached the end of your road with that, right?
Mhm.
Like there was nowhere else to go. And then your
Yeah.
mom's like, in not so many words, saying, I need you to do this for
Yeah.
me here.
Yeah.
And so all that kicks in, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
into like high gear. And you're just like, okay, now I need to advocate for my mom. Now I need to speak up and I need to find resources for my mom,
Mhm.
who is like, for us, some of the most precious people for us,
Exactly.
right? And you're just
Definitely.
like, and you're still carrying part of that trauma from, a year ago that had just happened. Like I hear you saying it, and so you're just like grasping at straws. And yes, so many of us, especially first generation folk, rely on Western medicine, and we kind of just like put it all on them and our parents too. Es que el doctor me dijo, la doctora me dijo, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, let's like even a second opinion, which like when you read, even on like WebMD, when you go on, they're like, get a second opinion. It doesn't sound so far-fetched.
Yeah.
But for us to like tell our parents or for us to do it for ourselves, because I'm currently pregnant, I'm a heavy set woman. Sometimes things that I hear, I'm like, do I, you know what I mean? Do I fall for do I believe that 100? Can I ask for a second opinion? So you doing that
Mhm.
says a lot. Like that's you doing so much already right
Aw,
there.
Thank you.
So much that so
Mhm.
many of us don't know to do or don't even try. So thank you so much for sharing.
That's
that.
so sweet.
Yeah,
Thank
no.
you. Oh my God. I'm
That's
crying.
beautiful. Oh,
Yeah. So it was really hard, dude. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I was just crying. Like, this happened like 5 years ago, and it still hurts me just to
Yeah.
think about how much pain my mom was in. Like that's my mom.
Right.
And I remember just thinking, like, fuck, I can't lose you too. Like, I need to keep you here. Like, I can't. Like, I need you. And, my mom was like, yo también quiero vivir, pero que me mochan las piernas. Ya no puedo con este dolor. And I was like, oh my God, like, don't say that. And it was just so heavy. And I didn't know what to do.
And I literally took her to White Memorial. I took her to where my dad died. So that was triggering all on its
Everything.
own.
Yeah.
And then just seeing her in a gown was just like, it was more triggering too. Like, oh my God, like I really don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
So went to my White Memorial, Beverly Hospital. And the waits were like 8 to 10 hours.
Mhm.
And I remember I was like, Mom, like, what, like, you know, I was like, what are you gonna do? Like, Mom, you have to try cannabis. Like, you have to. Like, it's
And was she
literally-
against it before?
Oh,
or-
hell yeah. That's probably why I started smoking weed. Like rebelling
Yeah.
against my mom.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want to be a marihuanera. You know, I think we just always look cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something about smoking weed and like chilling out and talking just was very attractive to me. Like, I want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I always wanted to smoke weed. Always wanted to smoke weed. And she was like, you know, she's like super senora, like, you know, like stays at home and like surveils the whole block,
Yeah.
girl. Like we live in front of let me tell you, my mom.
We got the same
Mom
mom.
knows.
Yeah.
Like mom,
She knows
dude, let me
what's going
tell
on.
you. We live in front of a park.
Oh.
My mom has binoculars. She has binoculars. And she's always chismeando and like metiche, like, oh, mira, ahí está esa pareja, siempre están peleando. Like, she's like, oh, mira, ya salieron los niños. Like, they're teenagers. Like, they're waiting for the bus. She's like, oh, ahí están los muchachos que patinan because she doesn't like them.
Right.
She don't like nobody, but like, we live in front of a park. Like, there's nothing but people everywhere all the time. And
I love her.
so whenever she saw somebody who looked like a juvenile delinquent,
Right.
she would just call them marihuaneros. Like they're not even smoking weed, Mom. How are you calling them marihuaneros?
That
Like
was
they're not
her like derogatory term.
like pinches marihuaneros.
Yeah.
Like that's my mom. So I always knew my mom as like, okay, she hates weed. Like she hates the way it smells. Like she's like, pesta. You know,
Yeah.
like that's her. And so to go from like, you know, that typical señora, like pinches marihuaneros, you know, not liking anything about it, right?
Yeah.
To, you know, being in the car with my mom in the the Beverly Hospital parking lot and being like, Mom, you have to try weed. And I pulled out a pipe
Oh, damn.
and I got the lighter, and she's like, oh, but she's like, what? She's like, isn't it gonna be addictive? She's like, isn't it bad for me? And I'm like, Mom, you literally tried morphine and codeine because a doctor told you to.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, I'm your daughter. Like, no one cares about you the way I care about you. No one's gonna look out for you the way
Facts.
I look out for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's literally the hardest drugs out there. And like, this is just a plant. Like, you could grow it yourself. I don't know how you can make morphine. I don't want to find out. You know?
Yeah.
And then she was like, okay, pero no le digas a nadie. So shh, don't tell nobody.
We won't tell.
Don't
We
tell
won't
nobody.
tell,
Don't
Mom.
tell her. Don't tell nobody.
This stays right here,
Yeah.
Ma.
Don't tell nobody, all right? And what is it? So I was like, so I pulled out the pipe and I lit it for her. And I was explaining to her, like, you want to hold it, you know, try to swallow it like if it's a beverage and then blow it out because you don't want to cough. And then I'm like, okay, ready for her to be like coughing. And she just big old
Like
hand.
a pro.
Like a pro. I was like, what? Who are you? Who are you? What is happening? And then I found out, like, oh, when before she had kids, she smoked cigarettes. I was like, oh, what?
Damn.
Good to know.
She's like,
She's-
rookie.
Yeah.
She's like, I got this.
Yeah.
She saw your pipe was like, oh, you don't got a bubbler.
And,
That's all you got.
so she was like, oh, and then she fell asleep, and I was like, fuck, she hasn't fell asleep in like a month. And I was like, there's something to this. There's something to this. And then she told me she didn't want to smoke it, but she was down for topicals. And I was like,
Say less.
that's all I need to hear. And then I was like, all right, there's something to this. And I started researching cannabis. And then when the doctor said, oh, your mom has diabetic nerve damage, I was like, typing. And I was like, what is diabetic nerve damage? So I just researched the hell out of it. And I was like, all right,
What is it?
it's the doctor described it to me as like getting an extension cord and a blade and just slashing your nerves
That's the damage. Like it's literally like severe pain. And yeah, it's inflammation of the nerves, and it can result to it's called diabetic neuropathy, and it's inflammation of the nerves. And she has cases just a few days ago. She actually fell at the supermarket. She was just standing and then just collapsed because her nerves just gave out on her.
So it just can randomly happen.
Yeah,
anytime,
and it's just like
and no
that's
control.
it's yeah, that's diabetic nerve damage.
Y le sigue. Like
So-
there's no.
So that
like-
was her first fall in like 2 years or something. Yeah, and then I remember she fell another time in front of me, and I was like, oh my god, this is so scary. So that is diabetic nerve damage, permanent nerve damage, and it causes your body to just give out on you. So it's usually from the waist down. Yeah, but sometimes it's like when she first started having the pain, it was from her knees all the way down her toes. But it's usually from the waist down because those are the main nerves.
Yeah.
So I researched the hell out of it, and that's when I was like, well, cinnamon, ginger, and peppermint are the most anti-inflammatory ingredients out there. So I'm gonna put that in this with this cannabis, and we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And it took me a few batches, and I burned myself in the process because cinnamon is really spicy, and essential oils are essentially just concentrates of a plant or herb. And I burned myself, but I made something, and she was like, "Esto sí me ayudó." She's
Wow.
like, la morfina me sentí peor con eso, el dolor. Y she's like, la codeína me dio una alergia, pero lo que sí me ayudó fue este remedio que me hiciste. Me dijo, tienes manos santas.
Oh, that's love right there.
Yeah, and she still tells me that. Like when she fell, she's like, oh, I gotta start using more of your crema. She's like, sí me ayuda. She's like, esto sí ayuda. She's like, sí, Chelly, la gente sí le va a gustar mucho. So I made that for my mom, like out of crisis.
Yeah.
So I that's how I got into the cannabis industry, or just making remedies for my mom. And then about like a year later is when I started Xicali products. So when I started, I already had like a little fleet of products that I just had
Okay.
at home and
Yeah.
things I made for my mom. But it was like, coming from like a crisis mode of like, well, how can I help my mom? And like coming from poverty, like living paycheck to paycheck. Like I remember there was so many times where we would go to free cooking classes, like healthy cooking classes, because it would give you produce because I didn't have anything to contribute at home. So I was like, well, this is the only way I can contribute is like getting free potatoes and bananas or whatever they give you. Like,
Right.
like coming from poverty, like not knowing how I'm going to pay my bills, like, oh, like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Just like living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So it's like coming from wanting to take care of my mom to like not wanting to be living in poverty anymore to like now having a 3-year-old business that's thriving. And like for 2 of those years to be during a pandemic is pretty impressive. Like, oh my God, like this is the worst it's gonna get.
Thank you. She's like, when are my flowers gonna dry?
So I'm just like, damn, I can't believe we made it. Like this is the beginning. Like I can't believe we made it out of that. Like can't believe we made it out of the ER rooms with an actual remedy because I made it for my mom, not because a doctor helped her.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I'm able to contribute to my mom, contribute to take care of myself and my debt, and to build an empire that is made to help our community.
Absolutely.
So it's just like, damn, I can't believe I made it out of poverty. I can't believe it. I made it out of a crisis. And now we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here
For-
we are.
Yeah. For all those people, listening to us, what I get from this is a product made with love. It's for the community, but it's mom approved.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't tried it, go check out Chelly.
And it smells
Xicali.
so
It
good.
smells so
Thank
good.
you.
That was my
when
first
she
thing.
when she came in here and she popped out that little bag, I could immediately, I'm like, algo tiene
Yes.
canela.
Yes.
Can I tell
Yeah.
you something else?
Yeah.
So I started making products for her, and I was like, I didn't know how to make. I was just going to the dispensary, getting weed from there, and then I started growing my own plant. And
As
I
you
was
should.
yeah, and I was like, oh, and I talked to her because my mom's a gardener. Like we have nothing but plants at home. And I was like, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be with it. Like maybe I would never have asked her before any of this happened. Never,
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
like oh, I don't want to talk about weed. Like she was like, she would hate when I would smoke weed. And to go from like pinche marihuaneros as her like default insult to me growing a plant at home and her looking at it and adoring it and saying, ¿Cómo es posible que esto fue un crimen? It was like a big old flip. I'm like,
Mhm.
damn, I think I just helped my mom decolonize this herb. And like that just blew my mind away. I was just like, damn, when she said that. And I mean, she loves when I grow my plant. She's like, oh, sí huelen fuerte. She's like, sí, sí se nota que es marihuana. You know what she calls it? she calls it tía Mari. It's her señora slang.
I love it.
Oh,
Yo, we need to have your mom next.
yeah,
time.
for sure.
Yes.
We speaking of moms, we got Sheila. Kudos to you. And then we got Dora. Love to Canela for my
Oh,
sciatica pain.
what's up, Dora?
Yeah, and we
Thank
got
you, Dora.
Steven, dope flavors in the building, sending our love and respect.
What up, Steven? What up? We're actually going to be having dope flavors here in the studio in January. So thank you guys for
That's a
tuning
real
us in.
Steven.
That's a real Steven.
No, that's the Steven. Hi, Steven. Danny was calling himself Steven earlier. I'm like, you're not Steven.
So
Danny.
for context, for context, guys, right before we got started, we were talking about viewerships, and I was saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna log on. I'm logging on," and they're making fun of me because that was Steven is my Steven,
This little alias.
Steve's my little alias name, but
His trolling account.
Blink twice if this Steven is real.
Say hi again, Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us a peace sign so we know it's real.
Two things. So yes, this smells amazing, but I feel like for like, I literally want to like, as soon as I leave here, I want to go to my mom's house and be like, here, ma, try this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. Yeah.
we all have like a tia, abuelita, someone in our lives that like has aches and pains, has an issue, and you're sitting there and you're like, dang, I got something in my back pocket. I don't know how to give it to you. I don't know how to produce something, that I can give to you. But even like the way you're naming it, what you're using, you have a niche, you have an audience that you're serving, a population that you're absolutely being mindful of. So I love that.
I saw you grab your phone, Danny.
Thank
I
you.
saw you.
So yeah, I really, really appreciate that. And second, girl, you were just gonna blow up. You just gonna so
Yeah.
bad. You are like,
Yeah, definitely.
because it's the right thing to do. It's like a good thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
All around.
You can
Thank
tell.
you.
You could also tell you're genuine. I love.
Aw.
I love it.
Thank you.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
Y'all gonna make me
Good
cry again.
we didn't put tissues on the table next
For
time.
real. Now we know for the
Next
next
time
one.
Shelly comes, all right,
It
put
gets
tissues
real.
right there.
Yes, Mama. Sheila just said me, and she raised her hand. Oh, Steven. All right. We saw you.
I saw him with the phone
You're
earlier
real.
though.
So I do have a question though for you. So because of as Julia mentioned with the naming and the ingredients and all that, because we were talking about this recently, how do you present your products to other family members that
Our elders.
elders that are totally against it or may think they're totally against it, as maybe something for the holidays where like or maybe I know that you're going through something, try this.
Yeah, I would say, how are you doing? ¿Cómo estás? And I think from there, it just shows that you care for people. Even if they don't say that they have an ache or pain, they could be saying something else. You could just bring it up like, oh, I found this really cool Latina owned business. And she told me that she has remedios para su mamá, para los nervios dañados, el artritis y todo eso. Y pues te compré esta botellita.
Yeah.
Porque es un remedio muy fuerte y yo miré ahí en la página que la gente le encanta y te compré esto porque te quiero y a un día a lo mejor no necesitas, nomás te lo sobas. I would just start, I would just like give it to them, like don't even ask, just say like, oh, like No, I would say, yo te quiero y yo creo que te va a gustar este remedio. En caso que un día lo necesites, ahí está. I would say
Yeah,
that.
just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Serve with love.
Yeah. Just like, oh, you might need it. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, here's a little gift in case you ever needed some natural pain. Because, the scary thing is, I get people who email me and, DM me on Instagram. And, they tell me about how their parents are just like obsessed with taking pills. Like that is like their
Mm.
go-to for whatever pain. It's like,
Mhm.
like too much trust in this pharmaceutical industry. Too much. So I feel like it's a lot of like younger people who are onto it. It's like the children of these like older parents who are taking that leadership in their like kids in their parents' health of like, I don't want my mom taking pills for the rest of her life. I don't want my mom's, like that was my point of view. Like I was like, my mom's already been taking diabetic medication for 30 years and now they want to give her this new pill. Like if those pains were so strong, that means this pill has to be stronger.
Yeah.
So I don't want her on that either. So I think it's a lot of like, you just love, say it with love. I just want you to use this porque te
Yeah.
quiero. Te
Aw.
quiero
Love it.
cuidar cuando no estoy allí.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Last week's episode, we had two Latina business owners as well in the cannabis industry, and we were talking about a lot of the challenges that they face when they're either presenting their brand to investors or to new buyers. What are some of the challenges that you face as a Latina business owner in this space here in LA?
I would say, man, that's a long list. Challenges. I mean, I think it's hard being an entrepreneur in the beginning, like in general, because it's such a lonely job. It's a really lonely job. Like for the most part, you're just by yourself. So I would say that's challenging all on its own, and then you add a pandemic to it, where like not being near people is like what's saving your life. So I feel like being an entrepreneur in general is challenging for your mental health because I was looking at symptoms of depression and it was just describing everything that was required for the pandemic, which was like social distancing. And I was like, damn, like we're literally like putting ourselves in depression mode. So I feel like that has been like a really challenging thing for me because I like being around people so much. So like, going from community organizing, working at a place like Lush, um, to just being by myself. I would say keeping up with the times is hard, but it's like fundamental. I've taken several entrepreneur training programs. One of them was called that entrepreneur training program. It's from the county, the small business source, the East LA business source. Shout out to them. Also, the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator. So I was in an accelerator program for 6 months.
Oh, nice.
So I think I think the most challenging part about being CBD compliant is that it's so regulated. Like, man, like even if you want to sell soda, you got to come up with a crazy mechanism for like child proof. And I think for being a CBD brand, it's challenging because it's like, okay, I have to do all organic marketing, like, and that's, I feel like it's just, a lot of walls in your face. Like, I feel like a lot of people have this misconception of like, oh, well, you're CBD compliant, so like you can do whatever you want because it's legit. But it's like, no, it's actually like very regulated. So it's like, I can't do the same thing if I had like a fashion business. Like that would
Right.
be completely different,
Right.
So I feel like, oh my God, like my first business is like one of the hardest businesses out there.
Yeah.
Like we're considered a high risk, risky business. We're in the same category as alcohol and gambling and pornography, just because of a herb that helps people,
Yeah.
So I feel like that's super challenging, or like, I feel like marketing is really challenging, like focusing only on organic marketing, which really means that I have to be on my toes with it. Like, okay, like it's only organic marketing. So I had to learn how to be a marketer, which is pretty cool. Like it took me 3 years and I feel like I'm an online marketer. Like I specialize on organic marketing. Like I got answers.
No, and you're right because when I first sent the follow, and I got that message back. I was like, holy shit.
I felt the same way for all of y'all. As soon as you follow Xicali, y'all will know
What we're
talking
talking
about.
Yeah, it's not automated. I do that.
Yeah,
I do that. It's not
And
automated.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great idea. So you get this beautiful personalized message saying like, I don't know the words
I'm
exactly,
here.
but like I'm here.
Mhm.
Let me know how I can help, or let me know how we can work together.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like that's what I heard.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Latinx Marketing. That's Mari from Latinx Marketing because she was the one that gave me that advice. And every advice she's ever given me has always made a profit.
Nice.
Nice.
So
And I've been using it. I told you I was.
There we go.
I told you I was, and every time we get a new follow on said connects, I send a message real quick of who we are, what we're about, and if you want to be on the show, hit us up.
Yes.
So yeah, I've started that ever since I got yours. So
Yeah.
shout out to you too for that.
Thank you. You know, that's a lot. That's a big lesson. It's like, what is everybody else doing? Or like, you know what else I noticed? Like a lot of brands, they have like a frequently asked questions. And one of them was like, when will my order be shipped? So that to me means like everybody wants to know when it's going to be shipped. Like if you're not
Yeah.
shipping it within 2 days, you got to tell people when you plan to ship it.
Mm.
And it's extra work, and it's like it's messy because some orders for me, it's like I have to make the product. So, you know, maybe they ordered it first, but I haven't made it. So this other person who ordered something really simple is already made, ready to go. So it's like, oh, it's not always in
The
that-
windows are always different.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
hard to scale that, but it's so important.
Right.
It's like, man, like this is an extra step, but it's, you know, people really value that. So that was like a lesson for me. It was just like, you know, that was just me looking as a customer. I wasn't even looking as a business owner, because that was my question too. I was like, how long do they take to ship? And I was like, okay, everyone's asking this if it's on their frequently asked question. So I feel like, yeah, you just got to learn from people, like, especially as a receiver, or like as a person who's, you know, on the other side of the DM, or as a customer, like, oh yeah, like these are the habits that I should be aware of.
Yeah, I was looking into your Instagram, and then I saw you have a product that you only do like once a year. I think you put on there that once it was out, you weren't gonna have any more until next year.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh,
that's good to know, man.
Yeah.
So if you didn't catch that wave, like you gotta wait until next year. And I thought as a
Yeah.
consumer, that's really dope.
Yeah, so the reason for that was I made that product a year ago. So it's been brewing for a year.
Yeah.
So if I want to make it again, I can't just let it brew for, you know, a month or two. I have to wait a whole other year for it to brew,
Yeah.
because that's what people will expect, the same result.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like it's really only have a limited amount. And it's just like, you know, at that time I was just like doing a lot of research on PCOS. So again, like the same thing, like which herbs are really great for the first month, or the first the first 2 weeks of your month, and then the last 2 weeks of your cycle, and like what's really common in PCOS and hormonal imbalance issues, and really just like anchoring those herbs and letting
Yeah.
them brew.
So
So,
for those
that was dope.
listening, and even for
Oh,
myself, what's
yeah.
PCOS?
yeah, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So it's a very common hormonal imbalance issue. A lot of people who have PCOS maybe have facial hair on the jaw and chin. Usually they don't have their menstrual cycle every month. It's usually that their cycle is maybe like, you know, anywhere between three months to a year to even a decade, you know, to going long. You know, your menstrual cycle is however long it takes you to get your next period. So if you only get your period once a year or once every 5 years, that means that your menstrual cycle is 1 year or 5 years. So PCOS is usually that, like not being able to have a monthly menstrual cycle, which usually means that you're not ovulating. So it has a lot of fertility issues, a lot of low libido, and unwanted facial hair. So things like that. That's polycystic ovarian syndrome. And it basically, these little balls form in the ovaries, and that's severely painful.
Yes.
And that's usually those cysts usually form because of lack of your cycle. So that is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So we have a lot of content around PCOS and hormonal imbalance.
And I saw that
Dope.
too on the page.
Yeah. We got a question. How long do you have to try this before you feel the effect from the pain?
So
I-
I would say for a cana canela, I would say.
Yeah, I think they're just. I think that's what they're asking about.
Yeah, I would say pretty instant. I would say anywhere between 5 to 45 minutes. Most people feel relief within like 15 minutes. When we would do pop-ups in 2019, we would always give people like a nice demonstration on their own body wherever they had the ache.
Yeah.
And we would say like it was usually at a big event like Molcajete or Mercado Downey or Mujeres Market. So there was always like, they would be there for another hour or so. And I would say like, okay, try it out, walk around. And if you love it, come back. And people would always come back. They're like, hey, this actually really helped. Like, and then they'll come back and they'll tell me the whole story of like, oh, I've been having this pain for years. And I don't know what's caused it. It just started to hurt. And I've tried all different things and nothing's helped. And I don't want to take any more pills. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to buy that because it actually helped. And it's natural.
Nice. I'm
So
excited
dope.
to try it because I just had surgery today. And I mean, I got to keep this wrapped up for a week, but once they take the stitches off, I'm definitely looking forward
Yeah.
to try it to see because right now the pain's starting to get
Oh.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shelly went from community organizing to community care.
Oh, I'm gonna use that. It's gonna be my Instagram now. Me organizing because I've been trying to think of that. Like, how do I put that? Thank you,
Yeah.
you, V.
Yeah.
Thank you, V.
That one's free. That one's free.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
On the
yeah.
house.
On the
Oh,
house.
all right.
You brought us something and
Yeah,
gave this
go-
to you.
she
I
gave
love
back.
it.
She brought it right back.
You know what else I saw on your page? That you're not just advocating or speaking on marijuana or the plant. You're speaking on all, and I mean, as you're talking about PCOS and as you're talking about different like issues and like canela, this helps, like anti-inflammatory. What else? Like you're talking about holistically the body and holistically the earth. Like what natural plants and herbs. Like I just like most of the posts after I started following you that I'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Or like I would save it into my collection is the ones that like for anti-inflammatory, turmeric, this and that. And it's like you have all these like ideas in your head, but then when you go to like, maybe Whole Foods or something, you're like, what's the one I wanted to buy? Right. And so like your page, I feel like you focus on that. Like it's not just, I'm not just going to advocate for marijuana and I want everyone to be a marihuanero, right?
Mhm.
Like you're just saying like, hey, there are natural remedies and natural ways that you can try to heal your body, right?
Exactly.
So I really appreciate that you're doing that.
Oh,
Like it's all around, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
As they scoot closer to each other.
For real.
I'm literally on top of her.
Julia,
My
get
leg
down.
is like wrapped.
Julia, get down. We have a question. So it says, I have some more questions about the low libido. How can I get more information about that? Also, I live in Florida. How can I get your products?
Oh, great question.
Do you ship out of state?
Yeah, for sure. We ship 100%. There hasn't been, to be honest, they said that we wouldn't be able to ship to certain states, but we're still able to ship to them.
Well,
Yeah. Oh my God.
No,
I feel
we
like as
don't.
long as it's not too skunky.
Yeah. I
like,
mean,
they won't
our
stop.
products smell like herbs.
More canela, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I just keep it on the low.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't.
allegedly.
Oh, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Disque.
Allegedly. Yes. No, we definitely do ship. You can go on our website. It's chicaliproducts.com. So XICALI products with a S.com. And you can go on our website to check out our products. And you could also DM me on Instagram or email me. So you can DM me on Instagram at Xicali Products, spelled XICALI Products. And I'm more than happy to answer your questions.
And she will definitely be on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably send
For
you a
sure.
video DM.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm sending video DMs now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a new thing.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm leveling up.
I'm not there yet.
I'm leveling up, and I'm like, oh, look, greñuda. And I'm like, but they don't say nothing.
Yeah.
They don't say
I mean,
nothing.
it's a response. It's
They're
not what you
here for the
expect.
quality content.
Like, nobody.
Oh, so it's like on-site video.
Yeah.
Oh, no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
Bam, I gotta
Yeah.
follow. Let me follow. You're
Yeah.
gonna be busy recording a few.
Yeah. That's keep me busy. Keep me busy.
Nice.
Yeah. So I would say, send me a DM. You can check out our products on our website. We have a lot of reviews for our Cana Canela and Mellow Out. They're our top 2 bestsellers. And for our low libido, we do have a whole hormonal range. So we definitely have something for your low libido, and it definitely. We even got a new lube. We got a new
I
product.
saw
It's
that.
called-
We're waiting
I-
to get into that. But
yeah,
we're
yeah.
here now, so let's
We're
go.
here now. Let me tell you, it works. Everybody's like, and people are like, they're like, is it like water based or oil based? And I'm like, you can use it with latex, you can use it with silicone, like you could use it wherever you want. It's definitely waterproof. It's water based. It's very naturally warming. It's got cannabis. It's got red raspberry leaf in there. So really, it's called effing juice. Oh,
Nice.
and you got to try it, by yourself, with a partner, whoever, however many, you got to try it.
I love it.
You gotta make
Be
a night out of
I'm
it.
gonna go product testing.
Yes.
I'll be back.
You might not control yourself. So we were gonna call it fucking. No, we were either gonna call it Wet and Wild, like the makeup,
Right.
or effing juice. And I was thinking Wet and Wild, and then my boyfriend, who was like, "You should call it fucking juice," and I'm like, "Oh my god, we should." And he's like, "I was kidding," and I was like, "No, like that's so good." And I
I
was,
see you deleting wet. And
yes, yeah, we're literally sending the labels to the printer. And I was like, no, you know what, Andy? I gotta put this on a poll on Instagram. I need people to vote fucking juice or Wet and Wild, and they voted. And I was
People
like,
spoke.
Was it
Yeah.
lopsided? What's that? Oh, man.
What are we talking about, Danny?
The poll, of course. The poll.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
poll.
it was a close call, but I was leaning towards fucking juice.
Right. The vote that mattered wanted fucking
Yes,
the final
exactly.
say. All right, that's cool. That's important.
Yeah, for all
All
that.
right.
all
We're gonna
those
do
people
Would You
interested.
Rather real quick. Just switch it up.
Okay.
Would you rather? Got a few here. So the first one, cumbia or merengue?
Cumbia.
All day?
All day.
Okay.
All day. We're dancing.
All right. Smoke flower or smoke concentrates?
Smoke flower. Smoke flower. Yeah.
She OG.
Yeah.
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 Universal respect or unlimited power?
Universal respect.
Okay. I don't. Has anyone answered the power? I don't think so.
Good.
No,
That's
no.
good.
Nobody.
Selena or Jenny Rivera?
Oh, well, Selena for sure. But I've been watching I Love Jenny on Hulu.
What season we on, girl?
I love it. I love it. I'm like, damn.
Yo, we got somebody putting you on spot. Julia and Danny want a commercial break.
She didn't bring no effing juice.
Hey, I saw Danny putting an order in right now.
I did. I just did.
Thanks.
Baby number 5.
Freaking baby. All right, last question. Wait, what's the question? Oh, there it goes. Would you rather go to the past to meet your ancestors or go to the future and meet your great grandchildren?
Oh shit. That's a good one. I would go back in time. I would go back in time because I'm like, I would love to meet my ancestors. I think I would freaking cry. I was thinking about that. I'm like, today I was crying. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, I wish I could go. I'm like, I want to go to the motherland. And I'm like, I think it's gonna make me cry so hard. Like,
Where are you from?
My mom is from Huejucar, Jalisco, which is near the Zacatecas border. It's a lot closer to Zacatecas than it is to Guadalajara. And then my dad, he was from Xicali, so I named my business after him because I didn't have no kids.
I was about to ask.
I didn't have no
Yeah.
kids because after my dad died, I just really wanted to have a baby. I didn't have no partner or nothing. I just wanted to have a baby. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I need to have a baby. Like, I want my own little daddy. Like, I just wanted a little son.
Aww.
And that never happened. I've never been pregnant. And I don't plan to be for another 10 years or so. And I started Xicali, and I was like, and I couldn't figure out a name. Which is really hard. And I was like, oh, I'll just name it after my dad. It'll be Xicali because my dad was from Xicali, and that's what you call people from Xicali. And then that made me feel so content. Like I was just so happy with that name. And I was like, yep, it's Xicali. And now it's like really hard. Like I didn't think about the marketing behind that. Like, oh, okay, I always have to spell it out, and people always have trouble pronouncing it. And like
Yeah.
nobody really knows what it is unless
It's
they're from
okay.
there. Exactly.
It's okay. They need to learn.
They'll learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I had people tell me like, oh, you shouldn't name it, not just because of what I just said, but more because it was in Spanish or not in English. It's pretty much the right
Too
answer.
bad.
Like it was, yeah. And I was just like, you know, like I remember I told that to like I sold that to my boyfriend because I was like, whoa, like people, because my boyfriend's my biggest cheerleader. And I was like, man, people are telling me this, and they're like my friends, you know? And he was like, you know, Modelo is a beer, and people who don't speak Spanish know how to say Modelo. Like they learned.
They figured it out.
They figured it out.
He's like, they're just gonna have to learn how to say Xicali. And I was like,
Shout out to the boyfriend.
yeah.
Yeah, for real, to our biggest supporters. And my name is Julia, spelled Julia. And so many people, when they read it or when they see it, they'll say, oh, Julia. And when I correct them, Julia. Oh, Julia. And like some people, I'm like, there's the word who in English. So you know how to do the first part. And Leah is a common name. So you just put those two together. And normally I'll tell people, and I think we all know what kind of people we're talking about. I'll tell those people, like, let your mouth do something fun and different for a little bit, for a change. So, and sometimes they'll just be like, you know, it'll hit you where it hits you, you know, but you get to try and do something different. Like, that's just what it is. Like, pronouncing something that you probably have never pronounced before. Like, give your mouth an opportunity, let it hit the roof of your mouth and see how that feels. Let it marinate, you know?
like that's our life growing up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is not Blanca. It's Bianca.
Yes.
It is.
Usually,
I'm just kidding.
Calmate Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just go by B. It's
So
easy.
I love it. I think it's beautiful. And actually, we were introduced, or we were like put on game by Dora.
I love Dora.
Dora's an old homegirl from college. Love, always, like, mad respect when I talk about Dora. I'm like, damn, Dora's playlist. There's this little iPod that I want that's in Dora's life, because Dora could go like punk. She can go anywhere, like Spanish music. She would just put you up, and it's like all the local like shows, all the local backyard gigs. Like Dora knew where they were at. And she, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's how I met Dora at the
Yes.
Scott Core Invasion.
Yes. I was like, sector court, all that.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dang, Dora, like, that's dope.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, I went to pick up some pumpkin bread because Dora knows how to bake. Dora just bakes the little butt off.
Is
It
that
was
that bread
good.
you had?
Yes.
Shout out to
And
Dora.
the cookies.
Oh my! I need some more of that cake. Though.
Yeah.
Like, that
Shout,
cake was
mad
delicious.
shout out to Dora.
Oh, we got Dora right
Yes.
That's what's up, Dora.
Hey, we love you,
We
Dora.
got
Thank you for bringing us together.
Yes. And Dora was like, no, I have a friend who does this. And as soon as we open up the page, I just, last week, 2 weeks ago, I made some coconut cannabis oil. And I made one batch like super strong. And then I made one batch for cooking. And the super strong one, I was telling him, I was like, man, I want to make a pomada to give to my aunts, you know what I mean, for the holidays, aunts and uncles, like
Yes.
my loved ones,
Yes.
you know? And I was like, and so I gave my mom a little batch of it, and she's using it. She's like, yes, it worked. And I was like, Mom, it's going to be a little smelly, but just go with it, you know? Like, I'll work on that. Like, and so she's using that. And then I was telling her, I was like, me da pena to like give it to my family members, you know, because I'm like, we don't talk about weed. Like, even if you know what business I'm in or what I'm doing or what I advocate for, I don't sit down and have like loving conversations around it.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, you don't have to lead with that. And like the same way you're like, I love you,
Uh-huh.
and I want to give you something that might help.
Yeah.
Like that's
Mhm.
what I can lead with. So like when I'm hearing you speak, I'm like, absolutely. Like I'm over here like caught up in the like about it or the stigmas and how the backlash where I don't have that's not the route I need to take. So Dora, thank you so much for everything that you've done. This is beautiful.
And for hooking us up. Yeah,
sure.
because she did say that you should hit her up. Yeah,
Ah,
she the first thing as soon as we said that we have the radio show, she's like, you know who you need to hit up? You need to hit Xicali products.
wow.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I did. I started looking it up, and I think it was that night when I followed you, and that's when we started connecting.
That's awesome. Freaking Dora, I love you.
Yeah.
Mil besitos. Mwah.
Yay.
Wow. You know what? No, I've learned that our families feel a certain way about cannabis for a reason. I've learned that because I didn't know how to talk about cannabis with my family either. And it's just kind of like, well, it's what I do. You know, like
Yeah.
it's this plant that I grow. My mom's cool with it. You should be cool with it too. Like my mom's cool with it. I don't care what anyone else's opinion about it is.
Yes.
Because it's like, she's cool with it.
Yeah.
My mom? All right.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, like not knowing why my mom hated cannabis so much. You know, like she just does. And that was the answer. I don't know why. She just hates it. It's illegal. That's probably why. And you know, maybe a few months ago, maybe a year ago, I was talking, a few months ago probably. And I was talking to my tia, and she's a lot younger than my mom. Like she could probably be my mom. That there's a big age gap between them. Because she has kids that are my age, but my mom and her are like 20 years apart.
Okay.
So, you know, she was just talking to me, and I didn't expect anything from it. But she was saying, the reason one of my uncles can't be in the U.S. is because he got deported because him and my grandpa, they used to be like gardeners, and they were gardening in some mansion in Beverly Hills, and somebody who lived there was growing weed, and my uncle stole some of it, like from like a plant, like not
Right.
even like, you know, a nug or anything, but like the actual plant. And I'm like, oh shit, that's why they're so scared of this plant, because it's like it's separated our family.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh my God, you know. And then it's like having this conversation about like, oh, actually it's, you know, that's not the situation anymore, but there's still people incarcerated, so there's a lot of racism behind this plant. So it's like you have like this like a long process of like having to explain cannabis and racism to your families. But it's also like, I felt like after that, it's just like everybody was like cool with cannabis in my family. Like, you know, like it went from like nobody talking about it to like everyone just kind of being like cool, because it's like, oh, well, you know, our oldest sister uses it for a rub and it works, and you know, you can smoke weed and it's not considered illegal in the state. So I think that was like a big shift. And I remember like I told my brother, I was like, hey, my mom tried weed, you know? And I'm like, she didn't want me to tell nobody. And he was like, she's telling everybody right now. I was like, what? So it's just like a huge shift, you know? Like I was just like, it was like a box just opened. I was like, you know, it went from like being hush hush to being like, all right, whatever. So you never know, man. You just
Yeah.
never know where that conversation's gonna go. Because I was not expecting to hear any of that at all. And you know, these are multiple events, multiple conversations. And it's just like, you know, like I guess in my head I always thought like, oh, they don't, it's not in their world. Like it's just something that they
Mhm.
never touched, they never existed in their life. But then realizing, oh shit, no, there's like deep root trauma in this plant, because not in this plant, but in this like this racist system.
Right.
Yeah.
And this plant has been used as a weapon against our own community.
Absolutely.
And then realizing, oh man, they're actually kind of cool about it. You know, it's like a big shift. So you never know where the conversation might
Yeah.
go. You never know. But I don't know. I wouldn't lead with cannabis, but you never
Right.
know.
Yeah.
You never know. I feel like you just don't know where it's gonna go, because people are like, I feel like, yeah, like I feel like our family members are tired of taking pharmaceuticals. Like they realize this is what's messed me up,
Yeah.
and if there's something else, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. And I think even just being a part of the industry opens up at least an opportunity for those conversations, because I know it happens a lot when we go to family parties. Since I'm working in the cannabis industry for the last 4 years, babe, like
Mhm.
4 years. So has Julia. She's worked alongside with me. So has B. And so anytime we go to family parties, like that's normally we'll have one or two family members asking us questions about the business, or different aspects about what's going on. And so I think that's,
Laws,
yeah,
legal, like
laws.
way,
Mhm.
like how legalization is moving, or they'll hear it on Primer Impacto or Univision and be
Mhm.
like, ay, me dijeron, oí algo de esto, and then you're
Mhm.
just like, oh yeah, that's coming down the pipeline, and whenever it is, and so yeah.
It's shifting. There's a
Mhm.
big shift going on right
Yeah.
now.
Or they'll be like, oh, I saw it at the grocery store. I
Mhm.
saw something at the grocery store that
Yeah.
had this in it.
Yeah. When they say that, they mean they want you to bring it to them, and they
Yeah.
don't know where to go. They don't know where to
Yeah.
go. It's too expensive. or they
Before
don't-
you buy it at the grocery store, go check
right
out.
here. And we'll have the
Xicali,
link on our
though.
page.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
have it.
definitely have the links on the page, on our Instagram, and every media that you're able to see this. So absolutely, you'll be able to get that.
Sure.
With questions with regarding the regulations on CBD, how, like, do you have to take certain any other go walk jump through any other hoops to get your products like on like a shelf at a CVS,
Oh
or like what are
man.
those steps that take for a small business owner to like eventually look into?
I haven't looked into it. I literally haven't. I've been building my business off of my own website or a pop-up. So I haven't even had like a wholesale order or anything like that. The closest thing we ever had to a wholesale order was Instagram. They featured us in their Buena Vibra box. So they bought our teas at full price, and they sent it to like 250.
Instagram did.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
Nice.
That
Dope.
was our only wholesale order, and it wasn't even wholesale. It was like full price. So I mean, I don't even know. Like we've just been building our business on our own website. Just now are we looking into Amazon? So we're approved to be on Amazon. So we're just gotta upload our photos and our products. So we're gonna be on Amazon soon. Prime on the West Coast. So anyone who orders on the West Coast can sign up for Prime. But if it's going anywhere else, it's not on Prime.
Yeah.
So that's what's coming up for 2022.
But
Beginning
that's
of
bad exposure. Like,
yeah. So, but I haven't actually looked into it because I'm just so focused on our store. And one of the things that we're going to do in 2022 is get a student intern. So we're going to have paid internship opportunities.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
the difference between like an internship and a job is you get to teach people. So that's like the main point of an internship, that someone is learning. So hopefully with that we'll be able to expand more, because then
Yeah.
I could teach someone what I'm doing, and then that gives me the liberty to level up in areas that we haven't touched on yet. So that is one of the goals, is to be at retailers. Like, oh, I think about it, but it's not my front end goal in my mind.
Okay.
It's like kind of like, oh, we'll get there once we get there, because I want to do all these other things first.
Yeah. And what are those? Like, because that was gonna be my next question. Is like, what are those? What's the upcoming goals for
Okay.
next year?
Next
Your
year.
5-year,
Okay.
10-year plan.
Okay.
It
Okay.
sounds like there's a lot going on. So I'm
Yes.
excited now.
yeah,
Yes.
lean in,
Lean in.
everybody.
Okay, get in.
Get your binoculars.
Yeah. So shout out to Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator and my mentor, Tracy Gray. Because of that, I've been able to actually look into the future and actually plan out what I want. And she was like, think big, think big, just think
Yeah.
big. And I'm like, I want to be a multi-million-dollar business. And I had to like Google how many zeros are in a million, because I only know numbers as much as I've ever had in my hand, like I don't know.
Facts.
So I had to Google that. And so we have a business roadmap. So like where we want to be, and just work your way back. So for 2022, we want to do a West Coast and an East Coast tour.
Yes.
So part of that is creating workshops for our communities. So like how to make your own pomada at home, which herbs are good for anxiety, how to make your own teas. So I want to do these workshops. So one of the things that we're going to do is research retail stores in our community and outreach to them, so we can host a workshop at their store. And we want to do that here in SoCal, and then we want to do it up in like I guess New England, like New York and Maryland and all those areas, that area. Really want to do an East Coast and a West Coast tour. So that's one of
Nice.
our goals for 2022.
I love that.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so
We're
excited.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
How
excited.
can we be connected with
Yes.
this too? 'Cause
Yes.
We definitely want to be a part of that.
Let us know. We will definitely put all the information on the page and
Yeah.
make sure we
Mhm.
reach all our listeners and as many people as we can.
Yay. That makes me
Yeah,
so happy. So
sure.
that's one of our goals for
And you
next
got
year.
followers in Florida now too.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Thank
can-
you, Florida. Yeah, we definitely do ship to Florida. We have shipped in the past.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
My
Allegedly.
friend's business has shit.
Yeah.
My friend's business, not mine.
Yeah.
My friend who has Xicali products has shipped to Florida.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there we go. So that's one of the things for 2022, and then our main goal is to actually be in the callejones. That's actually one of our goals. We have a studio that looks over the callejones, and let me tell you, if it was cracking during the peak of the pandemic.
Right.
You know, it was cracking. Nothing is stopping Los Callejones. No Nielsen report.
I don't think
Right.
anything has ever stopped.
Yeah, like, you know, it's kind of like, oh, well, there's a recession coming. It's like, well, you know, a pandemic just happened. So if that didn't stop it, nothing will.
Right.
You know, and that's just like, and you know, there's a lot of research to say to not go to retail, but you know, one thing I've learned, when everything's zigging, you gotta zag.
Oh, yes.
That's one of the things I've learned, and you know, my boyfriend taught me that. And I've heard people who I admire say that, like Hada Katan, and I'm just like, yeah, like, you know what? I'm such a ponquera. I'm such a hippie. I'm such a bruja that it only makes sense that I zag when everyone's zigging. Like, it only makes
Yeah.
sense. Like,
Yeah.
that's just me. I'm just weird, so I'm just gonna do that because I'm like, you know what? I shine in person. Like, I'm sure whoever wrote these reports and made these analyses were not me.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
you're just not me. Like, you don't have my sauce. You don't have Chelly. You're not Chelly. So that is one of our biggest goals. It's actually the thing that I'm like I'm scared to do, because it's like, oh my God, I don't know. Because it's like, I feel like it is the thing that's going to take us to the next level. Like, being in the Callejona is like, it's just, there's so many people. The traffic is unbelievable. And when I think about like events that I've done, it's like nothing compares. Like, no mall, no 3rd Street Promenade, no fair. Nothing compares to the Callejones. Like, there's just so much foot traffic. You know, people pay $20 for parking.
Just to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do know that.
We were
Yeah,
there.
we do know that.
Firsthand.
You know that?
Yeah,
Oh
my
my
fiance won. She's not my fiance. She's my
That's
wife.
right. Switch it up.
Hey.
Correct that. Yeah, she will not walk. So she's like, "Give me the closest parking."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Got it."
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the one that I'm like scared to do, but it's like, you know, because it's gonna just take us to 10 levels up. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, this is such a huge thing. So that's like the biggest thing, and internships. So I would say, like, as far as like making jefa moves, is hiring interns, being in the callejones, and doing it West Coast and East Coast too. Those are our next big moves.
I'm waiting,
All
waiting for
They
right.
that.
sound like fun, scary, but like
Man.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Another
Yeah.
thing not related to Xicali is starting my own plus size brand. Yes.
Aquí.
Okay.
There you go. Yes. And I already got the domain name. It's Gordita y Bonita.
I like it.
It's cute.
No,
It's cute.
I love it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's me. And so many people can. That's you too. So those are my goals. Thank
B
you
and
for
I-
asking.
We were just talking about how B's gonna go back to the homeland, and like the creative ways are like our family will tell us that
How
we
we
big, how big we are. Like, ay, qué bonita, estás bien rellenita. You know what I mean? Like all these comments, and you're like, thank you.
Estás bien cuidada.
Yeah.
Estás bien cuidada.
Yeah, in El Salvador, they'll say, "I get chola."
Yeah.
I'm like, the first time I heard that, I was like, I'm not a gangster, man.
I'm not a
like I'm not a gangster. Like, I'm very, like, you know, you grew up in the hood and everything, but I'm like, I'm not that for sure. And then I had to break it down after hearing it a couple of times. I was like, oh, they're not
Oh.
calling me a gangster. They're saying I'm healthy.
That's at least that's a nice way.
I didn't know that
Do it.
either. Chola. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Now I know.
I got the worst one when we went out to Cuba.
Oh, man.
Cubans got it, man. We went
Yeah.
out to Cuba, what, a few years ago,
Mhm.
and I'm big right now. I wasn't as big back then when we went, but I was still pretty big.
Mhm.
And we went to go look for shirts. I was looking for a guayabera out there, and when I asked for my size, the lady said, what did she say? That
Dude, I was
She
like,
was
a
just like-
simple no would have sufficed. Because she was like, no hay suficiente tela en toda Cuba para hacerte una. And I was like, whoa, lady, like.
yeah, and I wasn't even as big as I am now.
And we were just like,
look.
That blockade is real. That blockade is real. They're like, we can't be making abundance of plus size guayaberas. Like, goddamn, you gotta be like that, señora. Could have just said no.
y se me agüitó tanto. Like,
I'm
for
still
real?
hurt by it.
That hurts
I'm
me.
still hurt. Like it's been years, and that.
We're gonna make gordito y bonito.
Thank you. That's all I was asking for.
Yeah.
Thank you.
all right, I have a question for our I'm a Canna mom, right? And so, have you had experiences where mothers are looking for products for their children, safe, like that are safe to give to their children for ailments, for pains, aches, whatever? Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. So somebody, Carolina, she messaged me and she had already tried our products, our cana canela, and she was like, Chelly, do you have any kids products? And I was like, wow, what's up? And she's like, my son. And I think at the time he was 3 years old, and she was like, yeah, he looked at me and he said, Mami, ayúdame, quítame este dolor. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, I think he has growing pains. She's like, he didn't
Oh,
fall
yeah.
anything. Like, I think that's what it is. And I was like, okay, like, let me look into it and I'll make something for your son. And I was like, typing,
That's so
going
good.
through books, watching all these videos. And I was like, okay, here we go. We gotta make this. We gotta do that for his little knees y todo eso. And I sent it out to her, and she's like, Chelly. She's like, he's jumping around, he's playing, he's okay, he's good. Like he doesn't
Yes.
complain about his pains anymore. And I was like, yay!
Yes.
So that's called Baby Bear Growing Pains, and it's on our website.
okay,
Oh.
perfect.
I gotta
Yes.
check that out for sure. Wait, we gotta. Noah and Ellie said, "Qué hermosa estás."
Yeah.
That's one of the
Oh.
comments. That's one of the comments when they're telling you, "Oh,
You
you know,
big.
you big."
Oh, see, I don't even know. See, that's horrible.
See, that's Salvadorians
Yeah.
for you, man. I think it's a double
Yeah.
edge.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Because the first few times you hear it, you like,
I was like, "Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you."
Look at you,
Like,
Yara,
I haven't
'cause
seen
you're
you
like,
in a while, but
Oh, okay. You like chubby. Okay, we chubby chasers here. Okay, I'm here for it. But now you're telling me. Now
Yes.
you're telling me.
yeah.
Cracking
it's
jokes.
cool. It's cool. We can handle it.
She
Not
was
our
my-
first rodeo.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that you're making products for real life situations like children's growing pains. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, we have another tincture. It's for moms who are pregnant. So another person, she sent me a DM and she's like, hey, my sister, she's pregnant. What is it? Her depression's so bad that her doctor and during her pregnancy prescribed her antidepressants. So I was just like, oh my God, like I can't believe they did that. I thought you're not supposed to be on anything when you're
Right.
pregnant. And I was like, okay, let me work on that. So I made a tincture for her sister too, and she loves it. So it's just like, oh my God, like it's just, I gotta help you. I'm like, I'm down. Just tell me, And to be honest, that's how our bestsellers really ended up starting. Is like making a product for one person in particular,
Yeah.
and then everybody loves it because everybody has similar pains and aches.
Curandera.
Oh,
I love it.
thank you.
Yeah.
So remind our listeners, where can we find your products at?
Yes, so you go to xicaliproducts.com, spelled XICALI products with an S. .com, and you could also find us on Instagram, spelled the exact same way, Xicali Products. Xicali Products. If you follow us on Instagram, I will definitely send you a DM, and you can check out our products on our website.
Thank you. We have any last words?
No, just thank you for coming through. Thank you for being here with us. It really means a lot.
Yeah.
Like these are the things that we're trying to do.
Oh, thank you for putting
Yeah.
Create platforms.
this whole show together. It's not even a project, it's a whole empire. Like, damn, like you're over here breaking glass ceilings for us. Thank you putting us out there, making sure that businesses are growing, that we're hearing the stories and having community, building community.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gotta look out for each other.
That's important.
Is there somebody you want to shout out?
Oh my god, shout out to my boyfriend.
Shout out, boyfriend.
Yeah, he gave me a ride today. So that was really nice because I don't like driving at night. But shout out to my boyfriend, shout out to everybody who gives us some love and attention. Shout out to my mom. Te quiero, ma. Mil besitos. Te voy a enseñar este programa. And yeah, shout out to my boo, my right hand. Yeah.
I love it. I love a good supportive partner.
Mhm.
I'm out for the month.
Yay!
So, I'll see you guys back in after July. No, it's March.
July.
I wish. I
Yo,
wish
you're just trying
January.
to quit.
No, I'll see you guys again in January.
Pollo campero on deck.
On deck. For
Can
sure.
Queso fresco.
Can you
Some
try
crema?
To, can you try to bring
I'm
up
lactose
pupusa,
intolerant.
please?
For sure. Not cheese though.
Oh.
I'm allergic.
Oh.
But I'm not.
Yeah, you
Okay.
are.
Well, we
So
just
we're-
had this conversation this past weekend that I'm gonna stop all dairy.
Oh wow. So we're lactose intolerant, Danny and I. But I don't risk it, and I see Danny just going for it, and I'm like, my God, Danny, like, no,
With no fear.
no fear. Like I've seen
Damn.
this guy,
Like,
just
if I'm
pupus-
home,
the
I'm
cheese
home.
pupus at man.
Nah.
I seen you not at home.
Yes.
I
Yes.
seen you not at home. So
I'm on my
wow.
way.
Well, we
Hey.
have a Brussels sprouts recipe on our Instagram that helps with
Ay.
inflammation. So you cook that. It's bomb. I love
What
it.
are you trying to say?
There goes our curandera.
Yeah, I'm just
There you
saying.
go.
Just gotta keep you here.
I know. I was actually
Yeah.
looking into that other product like that.
You
So,
guys, for your recovery for surgery, because dairy can cause inflammation.
Oh.
See,
So-
see,
Oh,
it's-
yeah,
I'm
that's
all
all you
dairied up.
needed.
That's why I'm in. That's why it's just all inflammation
Yeah.
from the dairy.
yeah, I know. I'm still having,
¿Cómo no?
I'm still having reactions then.
For real. Yeah, no, I did a 60-day cleanse once, and it was horrible. It was the worst. Cleansing is, it's not all cute. It's really hard to detox. Cleansing is a
Yes.
detox. It's a cute word for detox.
Right.
And yeah, man, I don't know how I did it, to be honest. I had vaginal discharge,
Okay.
and I was trying to get rid of it naturally. And I was like, maybe if I just do this detox, because my friend had a discharge but different. But I was like, well, if it worked for her, let me try it out too. And it was supposed to be 40 days, but then I didn't it didn't work. So I was like, well, let me do
Extend
it.
it,
Yeah, to
yeah.
60 full days. Total, I mean. And like I still had the problem. I had to go to Tijuana to go get real answers because the doctors here suck. So we have a whole other blog based on that too.
Oh.
Like how to navigate the medical system here in the US. You can get your doctor to actually listen to you. What is it? Yeah, I did this cleanse and I couldn't eat bread or any kind of dairy or any kind of carbs. I really just only ate like Brussels sprouts, spinach, and then like these glass noodles. That was like pretty hearty, but like the only fruit I had was like blueberries and green apples. It was intense. So like
Sounds intense.
And because I've read
Look at
like
Danny,
cleanses,
Danny's like, nah.
and I'm like, oh, I like that. I like Brussels sprouts. I like
Yeah.
spinach. Oh, blueberries. That's cool. 60 days. of
nah,
that?
I would never do that again. Never
Ah.
ever. And I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Danny's like, all good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Danny's like day one. I'm out.
I wouldn't recommend it, but I still eat Brussels sprouts
Yeah.
because they're bomb.
They are.
Done well, they're really good.
Yeah, I got this bomb recipe for Brussels sprouts. It's part of our anti-inflammatory series. So like what you can do at home.
Yes.
So like encouraging people to do like home remedies or DIYs. We're not just trying to sell people products, but we're actually trying to bring people wellness. So
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking
It's a
about.
bomb
Community
recipe.
care. There you go. Go check it out.
bomb
Yeah.
recipe. I love Brussels sprouts.
All right. Well,
That's
were you gonna
right.
say something?
No, I was like, I love Brussels
Yeah.
sprouts.
I know Juan laughing at you though.
Super
JC.
anti-inflammatory.
All right, we're gonna shout out our last sponsor, Grassdoor. Grassdoor is one of the largest cannabis delivery services here in California. They deliver to you right to your door within 45 minutes. As a listener to our show, if you visit grassdoor.com and you use said connects at checkout, you receive 20% off your first 3 deliveries. Again, go check out grassdoor.com and use said connects, CED connects at checkout, and you'll receive 20% off your first 3 deliveries. Check them out. We'd love to have you
That's a good
guys.
discount right there.
Damn, first three.
Tax free.
3, yeah. There
Damn,
you
they
go.
want you to keep coming back.
Yeah, they do. And
Damn.
we
And we
you
want to.
We want, yeah, we would definitely want to.
Yeah.
So there. With that, we got any last words? No?
Well, I would love to offer free shipping.
Ooh,
Okay.
Yeah, I would love
okay.
to offer free shipping to all your followers.
Okay.
All
You
right.
heard it
Yeah.
here, folks.
Y'all
You
heard
heard
it
it
here. We'll
here.
work that out, and
Yeah.
we'll definitely put it on the
Yeah.
site. But y'all heard it here first. We get
Thank
Yeah,
you.
have a nice- thank you
Yeah,
for that,
our
for
shipping
sure.
is $10, so it's a big saving.
there.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
go.
man.
All right, we'll do that. Thank you.
Hey,
You
go
throw
buy
one more
everything
little
on her
item in your
line.
cart. There you
Exactly,
go.
Yeah.
exactly.
Go buy everything online, guys. Show her some love. All right, then. So, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah, babe.
She's
She's a bitch.
She's December 6th.
Hey, you ready to rock?
I'm just, I'm finally going back home.
Yeah.
So,
Aw.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
It's gonna be good.
All right, well, listeners, again, we're here every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live from the TGN Latinx station, and you can also tune in through the Good News Radio app every Monday on YouTube and on the radio app. If you want to check us out, also we're going to be streaming the episodes on Spotify and Apple every Wednesday. Make sure to follow us at Said Connects, CED_connects on Instagram. Shout out to our social equity sponsors, Seventh Wave and 4Gs, Joyous 420, and Bianca Star Agency. Again, special thanks to Can for hooking us up with some drinks. We'll be having some drinks every week. We're going to be trying out different flavors every week. So check that out for our reviews. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, lastly, thank you, Chelly, for hanging out with us,
Oh,
spending your night with us.
thank you. I had so much fun. Shout out to Dora.
Thank you.
For
Thank
sure.
you. And so, with that being said, we'll see you guys next week.
See you.
All right. Bye. Oh, that's so
Gotta click the
cool.
button, B. And you two got that last sneak peek of us. Oh,
Oh, JC.
JC,
have
have a nice trip.
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys think. Let us know if the new feature there around the screen, how'd that work out for you guys. We'd always love feedback. So we'll check you guys out, and thank you guys for tuning in.
All
We'll
right.
see you guys.
Much love. Bye.